what's happened is I tried to send it on mail drop. And I don't know whether you've got, mail drop or not, so I might have to get it on a stick or something like that. Or I could, because I'm trying to think of how I can, because I tried to send it through the mail, but it's too long.
Yeah.
Or when they, through a mail, through regular mail, it says it's too big of a file. So I might have to send it through, but I do have it recorded.
Okay.
So maybe Ron and I could have a discussion on how we can get it.
Good idea. Yeah.
Because he's way more savvy with these things than I am. I just know I've got it. I know where to find it on my computer.
Okay.
And that's,
okay. We can send it.
Do that. And we're already into this. This is already recording now, so we're already into the next one. So
let's connect afterwards, or not today. Well, sometime on the weekend and figure it.
We can figure that out.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one and have a good August. Maybe see you somewhere along the way.
Diana, don't work too hard.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll try to take a bit of August off.
Necessary.
Yes. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies. I think what we did on Wednesday, we focused on the chair itself, more on the chair. So what I'm going to do is, we've got about a little over 45 minutes. So what we'll do is, make this one as much different from the stuff we did on Wednesday as possible, and then just, we always just do what we can. Did I mute everyone yet? I don't think I did. Barb, how's your back today?
It's good. It's better.
It's better? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna mute now. We can go ahead. All right. All right. So if you're watching this later on, sorry for all the preamble. That's just the way things work. Soles of the feet on the floor. Backs of the hands and the legs, lift through the heart. Sitting bones down. Remember, we want to have that marionette string at the crown of the head. Try to take, if you're feeling the shoulders are a little weighted, pull up through the shoulders and then drop them down. Do a couple of shoulder shrugs. If you can allow that weight to release. Good, and then feel the soles of the feet onto the floor, the sitting bones on the chair. The lift through the front of the body. As those arms relax down, let's inhale and take the arms up. Lifting up through the front. So what I want you to try and do is start to activate a little bit of movement in the torso right away. Let the arms come back. Inhale, lifting up. And stretching, exhaling. Yeah. Inhaling up. And exhaling. And back. Now let's inhale out a diagonal. Exhale comes together. Inhale out and diagonal, and you're lifting, you're squeezing those shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale wide, and exhale, inhale wide, and exhale, inhale again wide, and exhale, shrug out shoulders, taking the arms, and we'll take them to circular motion. So think about backstroke. So you can alternate if you want. Here, then you create, then that allows for a rotation of the torso. Or we can do it together and with the arms together. Again, I'm going to try and add a lot of things here so that when people are watching, they can do what is appropriate. So here, a backstroke, I've got a lift through the chest, reaching back the arms as much as I can. And just a few times. Good. Shrug out, take tension out of the shoulders and neck. Take a breath. And front, think about front crawl as not going in front of you because then we're rounding the shoulders. Think about it straight in line to the leg. That's forward. Straight in line to the leg, and you're rotating your torso. So this creates a few things going on. So we've got the shoulder movement, we've got the rotation of the torso. Good, and then we can do it with both arms if you want. Rotating out, up, and then forward. So what this does is you've got this full rotation of your shoulders, and I'm using my hands, I'm turning them outward, upward, back, and then the thumbs are coming down and in so that the shoulders are rotating. And so I've got a chest lift this way, similar to our spinal flex movement. Good. Look at you go, Jean. Nice. One at a time or both. So one at a time creates a twist in the spine, rotation in the shoulders. Two at a time creates a back bend and curve, like mobility in the spine in this direction. So one goes this way, one goes this way. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up, interlace the fingers. Exhale, bring them in front. Yeah, that's it. Inhaling up, pushing up, opening up through the front of the body, keeping the shoulders from climbing up towards the ears, keep them down. You're just pressing up through the arms and pressing out in front. So we can work on the breath at the same time. We can have our interlacing fingers, inhale. And then exhale. Turn the palms upward. Inhale, press up. Exhale down. Turn the palms up, inhale. Turn them out, exhale. Inhale, press up. And exhale, relax down. We'll do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, turn the palms up. Inhale, press up. Exhale. Release down. Good. Shrug your shoulders. All right. Let's create a little bit of back release and back bend. So I'm going to show you this from the side. Reaching back, right, where we've done with the shoulders. So here I'm sitting my butt back a bit so I can grab any height, and I'm pressing. I've got a little bit of a back bend here, squeezing here. We can slide the hands down and create a stronger lift through the front of the body. Okay, but I'm working on the shoulders, that squeezing of the shoulder blades, the YTW thing that we work on a lot. So you can roll the shoulders ahead. And roll them back. And so you can see from the side that I don't do, the rest of the body really doesn't do a lot, including the head, right? And always end with a squeeze, shoulders squeezing towards one another. Relaxing those arms down, shrugging out. Good. And now we're gonna come into our spinal flex position. So that position where we're sitting at the end of the chair. Tip forward, lift up through the heart, draw the shoulders back. Tip the pelvis back, curve the spine. Let the shoulders come forward. Focus your movement through your pelvis. So again, I'll show it from the side. Inhale, lifting up and out. Exhale, arching curve. All right, so we're gonna come from here and come into some standing positions. It's on the Wednesday when we did mostly seated, so I'm gonna come and we're gonna do mostly or a lot of movement from standing. So let's come into, you can come into that YTW, always will work on your upper body, your shoulders and your upper back for your posture. So weight to the shoulder, weight into the heels. Y. T, squeeze. And W, pull down on the tips of the shoulder blades. And we'll do 2 more cycles. Y. T, squeezing. W. Good. And 1 more cycle. Good. All right. Bringing yourself up to standing. So we'll use the chair. I think we did the circular move. I don't think we worked on the hips on Wednesday. So that side to side movement, remember I'm focusing on trying to get this hip as far out as I can. Press it as far out, think about the hip. I'm pushing it out as far out to the side as I can so they can feel a stretch. And there becomes a physical limit. The bone just doesn't move anymore. So I'm trying to move side to side with the biggest movement. And then when we get into the circular movement, try not to limit that movement. Try to continue to keep this movement off to the side. Now, tucking in front, so I'm tucking the tail, so the knees have to be utilized here. I'm trying to push my pelvis as far forward as I can. And then to the back, trying to tip my tailbone back as far as I can so that I get into a bit of a back bend. So alternating. Tucking under to pressing back. To tucking under to pressing back. And then using all 4 of those positions, side, tuck, side, back. As big a movement as you can, and you can see that when I come to the front, my voice changes a little bit, is because there's a contraction, an inward pull in order to get my, so that is because I don't speak from the throat or the nose, I tend to speak from further down, it changes the quality of my voice. So this is what you want to have you don't want to change your voice, but you want to have this sensation that there's movements, lots of mobility here. So try and get it to the full extent. Press out, tuck under, press back as far as you can without pain in all the directions to create your circle. Good, and come back to center. Step your inside leg, your leg that's closest to the back of your chair, onto your seat. Now I'm shifting this forward a bit because I'm coming into a lunge stretch and then a hamstring stretch. So, which is a lunge stretch and a forward bend stretch. So I'm going to come forward into this leg and then push from this leg, try and use this leg, these glutes as much as you can, and then curl your toes back towards your nose. That will get your hamstrings. When you come back, curl them each time, curl them back towards your nose. And press forward. When you press back, use the muscles of the leg that's on the chair. When you come into your forward fold, curl the toes back towards the nose so that you activate tight hamstrings. Push out through the heel. That's also good if you have plantar fasciitis, which I have the beginnings of, which is curl those toes back and you can even hold on to them and really stretch that area. So if you feel like holding this position, go ahead and hold it, but then get into this position where we're stretching through the front of the hip. Stay landed as much as you can. Stay balanced. Your foot on the back, the foot on the floor stays on the floor. Good, let's go ahead and do that on the other leg. For the other leg. Good, so pressing forward. Using the muscles of that leg, curl the toes back towards the nose. Come into your forward fold. And going back and forth, just nice, smooth, deep breath. Good. So let's ease into the hips again before we come back to, so I'm gonna go back and forth to the hips. I'm just giving you different angles than we usually do. So right now you can see I'm towards the side of my chair. Here's the back of my chair. I'm gonna take my outside leg, point my toes outward, curl. So you see my knee pointed outward, just like in our tree pose. Okay, that's what I want. Torso straight ahead though, don't turn your knee that way. So I want my knee pointed outward, my torso in this direction. And I'm grabbing the end of the chair. So I'm gonna bend forward, not letting that knee come in. I'm putting some pressure on that knee. Good, and I'm gonna release. I'm gonna bend and release. Good. Release that, turn to the other side of your chair, or just move your chair around. We'll do the same thing on the other side. You're gonna plant your other leg up. Outwardly turn the toes. Plant your hand onto the knee. And then you're going to hinge forward. So this hip for me is significantly tighter. And you just notice. Just notice what's tighter, what's not. Work with it, don't move into pain. Send the tail back. And one more time. Good. So now we've got a little bit of a hip stretch in between doing some more work with the use of the chair. So we're going to take our chair and wide stance, wider than or when we're coming into our YTW. So a YTW is kind of a comfortable stance that we're coming into so that you can come up comfortably with your weight back on your heels. Now we're trying to keep the weight as much as we can. Well, it's not going to be completely on the heels, but I'm going to still have my tail back, but my legs are wider, right? My legs are significantly wider. They're kind of a bit wider than my shoulders. Out to the side, up onto the toes, and then down back into the heels, send the butt back. Right? Up onto the toes, and then back. Nice deep breath, because you're using those bigger, stronger muscles, right? You're trying to use your strong leg muscles, your strong glute muscles in through the hips. Nice deep breath. and your butt back as opposed to your knees forward. Butt back as opposed to knees forward. Good. Now into our, so we're gonna come into a triangle variations. So wide stance again. With the toes of the foot that's closest to your chair pointed in, and you're thinking about your, if you wanna hang on to the upper part, then have the foot pretty much aligned to the back leg. You want to come into your hand is on the seat of the chair, then have your foot so it's just about to the center of the seat of your chair. Right? So in triangle, I'm trying to create all these angles in the body. So we think about the skeleton, the angles that the skeleton's going to create. So we've moved the hips, so I want you to hinge to the hips, send your hips out, keep this side strong, reach out with this arm. So you can see I'm not trying to create curves, I'm trying to create angles. So nice strong stretch, trying to create an angle now with this arm, 90 degrees with this arm. Now if this hip, which is my tightest of the two hips, if it releases a little more, I might be able to get my hand to here, but you can see how my arm moves and not my torso, right? My torso, my line from the tailbone to my crown, I'm trying to pretty much create a straight line. So if you reach the chair and you're reaching the seat and you're going from here and you're going like this, then that's not what we're aiming for, right? We're aiming for that the bend comes from the hip. Here. Push through the feet, engage the legs. Aw. Look at that, puppers. Hold me. It's like, I would just give in. I just go, and that's it. Yoga's over. I'm holding the pup. And let's go ahead and do this on the other side. Wide legs. Turn the foot in. So if you're going to hold on to the back of the chair, turn the foot so it's closest to the back leg of the chair. Or if you're going to come to the seat, then your foot's to the center of your chair. Right? So again, we loosen through the hips. This is where we're moving from the hips, not from your upper body. Loosen through the hips. So hinge, reach, create some lines. And hinge a little more if you can, but don't bend at the waist. Remember the arm moves, not the torso. And this is about our strength, our stability and strength, not so much the stretching, though there is some stretching in through your hamstrings. It's more about your alignment, your strength. Good. Push through the feet, engage the legs. Very nice. Let's come up to into a back bend. So hands can come onto the back of the chair or your seat. Send your tail back. Reach your arms out, splay the shoulders. Splay the armpits, elbows out. Long deep breath. Now allowing the knees to bend a little bit. Planting your hands, engaging the body, knees, the bend so that you can squeeze. You can, I'm gonna use the back of the chair for this one so that you can get the idea that you don't have to use the seat, especially when the back is, when we have issues with the back. So we're going to come into our chair squat position. And you're gonna step your legs straight back. Step them straight back. So I'm trying to see, maybe you can see through the rungs of the chair when we're going here. So you can see this is where my hips, my iliac crust, the front of my hips are. I'm gonna stretch them with my legs straight back in line to the corresponding hip, as opposed to trying to get it to your line to the foot behind. Barb, we're almost to that marching position, so if you feel like you want to do that, marching or crossing over, we can do that as well. Straight back. So we're trying in this series, or today, you're getting more in through your lower body, stability and strength, focusing in the glutes and your lower body, which is important for your balance, which is important for. And before we come into our marching one, we'll do some stuff for the foot too. So here I'm trying to stay low. I'm not trying to raise and lower too much. Good. And I find my chair position and press up. So when we come up, always think about the biggest set of muscles, and the biggest set of muscles is your glute muscles, the bum muscles in the back. Where, how can I get those? And you can activate those in almost, even if you bend your your ring finger, you can still squeeze your glute muscles. Squeezing your glute muscles while you're bending. So it's just try and squeeze them all the time, not just to squeeze them, but squeeze them so that they activate. What can I do to get my spine straighter? Squeeze, lift up through the spine, strengthen up or lengthen up through the crown. What can I do to feel more balanced through my feet? I can squeeze, and then I can pay attention to what parts of my foot are making connection to the ground. But we want to use the glutes. So from something like this, when I'm here, instead of going back bend, and then maybe the knees straighten, I want to go squeeze the glutes, push the pelvis forward, and create a lift. That takes pressure off your knees and your lower back. It activates the navel more. These ones and these ones need to work together more often. Okay. So our marching position, which we can do from the chair, from the seat. So if you feel like we're at this point and you're going, I've done enough standing, I want to sit down, then go ahead and sit down. You can do this from the seat, or you can do it standing. We're going to focus on the marching piece. Marching to balance both sides of the brain, left and right brain. So we're gonna lift and lower, and you're going to alternately, you're gonna try and keep your knees, bring your knees high. And remember what we want to do, we want to land that foot straight down. Notice if the knee pops outward or the foot pops inward. That's one part of your body working harder than the other. Try and keep your knees straight up and then straight down. And remember, you're landing your foot, the ball of the foot and the toes first, and very lightly on the heel. So here, we're trying to keep lightly on the heel or nothing on the heel. So if you're seated, put nothing on the heel. If you're standing and you can put nothing on the heel, that's fine too. But see, my right foot, will automatically turn inward if I don't pay attention, so I have to pay attention to pull it straight up and down, straight up and down, and then start to add. So if you can't raise your shoulders, add your marching arms. You can't raise your arms above the shoulders, but if you can, swing, add your arm swing to that. And then there's the coordination piece. So what we're attempting to do is when this foot lands, this hand is beside the hip. So I'm going to do hand beside the hip when the foot lands, which means the arm has to move faster than the leg. Same time. Good. All right, so we can do that marching piece, we can do that for a long period of time. It works on coordination, it works on getting both sides of the brain, it works on it increases your respiration and your heartbeat. So there's all sorts of regions of the body that it's really good for. And if you hold the position, we work on balance too, right? So all sorts of things that we can do with that. Good. Okay, so we are going to be, yeah, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes anyway, we can make our way back to the chair. So if you feel like it, if you haven't, so any opportunity you have to use your lower body, so the core piece is the tummy, so think the tummy, the thigh muscles, the back thigh muscles, and your glute muscles, but mostly think about glutes and tummy doing that. Those are the biggest sets of muscles that we want to get working. So as I come down, sit up tall, push up, and then come down. All right, and then if you're feeling comfortable, that's when we can start to do when I'm coming down, am I still using a strong posture position? This way or this way. So standing up and sitting down using your upper body posture positions isn't appropriate. You can use them while sitting down. Come here, hold. Come here, hold. And come here, hold. So if you're not using them in coordination with squats, I just added them to make it a little bit more complex. Then do 3 sets of 5 of your upper back, especially if you're sitting or doing lots of stuff in front of you, you know, like the dishes or vacuuming or, you know, needlepoint or watching TV where we have a tendency to do this, or, you know. All right, come on and sit down. And let's do so we already did our spinal flex position. So let's work with the hands. So some coordination, come a little closer. So a coordination piece. I want to see how my line here. So take a look at yourself and see if you can, so if you can get that thumb back to the elbow, thumb shoulder, thumb back to the shoulder, find that line, nice straight line. Okay, press out, down, up, and back. So try and get some motion in your arm. Try not to bring them too close like this. Because what I want you to do is I want you to use your back muscles. So if I'm here and I go like this, you can see that my shoulders and my back muscles have to be activated. So I'm tracing my torso. Okay, so think about maybe tracing your torso up and then back. Out, down. Trace the outside of your torso up and back. Okay, so now in, trace your torso down. So trace your torso, let the elbows come out, go down, out, and up. Okay, keep them wide. Elbows in, palms out. Okay, in, turn them in, elbows out, trace your torso. Down, out, up. All right, so for the wrists, hands it together. So Jean, if you feel like it, you can just do what we were doing. We'll just do this a couple of times because you're not going to be able to have any bend in here. So when we work with the wrist, it's out, down, and then you're bending the wrists up and back again. And then there's minimal movement in the shoulders and the elbows. Out, down, in, up. Out, down. So you can see we've got a bend in and then up here. Okay, in, around, down, up. So the movement of the elbows is again minimal. Food flies everywhere. All right, now coordination. Out, this is one, out, down, up the side of the body, in, up. Other side, in, down the side of the body, out, palm is out, up, and back. Right? Out, together. Now switch sides. Yeah, so the biggest part, let's shake out the hands, is getting your flexibility, this kind of rotational movement. So if we've got arthritis or any other, carpal tunnel or anything like that, these movements where I'm trying to move like this, like that, and like this, it can be, but that's basically this kind of movements that I'm trying to get here when I'm doing this. Palm in, I'm trying to rotate it as much as I can, down, out, trying to rotate that as much as I can. So you can see that so we're doing this when we do this, right? And pull back. I'm trying to create as much rotation as possible, where my thumbs are up to the sky, as much rotation as possible. So the rotational piece, whether we're working with the spine or any of the other joints, shoulder joint rotation, elbow joint, wrist joint rotation. Those are all important things to do. So we're just minimizing it here or we're focusing it on the wrist. Rotation, bend, rotation and bend, rotation up and back. And then we're adding coordination. So so I want you to rotate out as much as you can and in as much as you can. That's it, Bev. You got it. Yeah. Fingers point upward, Barb. Yeah. Back. All the way out, all the way back. So rotation. Here's your wrist rotation. So in order to increase that, let's take a look at this one that rolls that way. Take this hand, wrap it around the thumb, fingers wrap around the thumb. Thumb is where between the ring finger and the baby finger. And push it into that rotation. Push it into the rotation where it doesn't want to go. That is a very creative way of doing that, Bev. We'll work on that later. Drop. Let's take the other rotation. Rotate the palm in and out, in and out. Now, fingers wrap around the thumb of the other hand, palm to the back of the hand, wrap around the thumb, wrap around the thumb. But take your thumb and put it between the ring and baby finger. Take the thumb that is now grabbing. Don't grab with your thumb, Bev. Put it between the ring and baby finger. Keep your fingers around that thumb and take the other thumb, your free thumb. See this one that's moving back and forth like that? Put that between the ring and baby finger. And then twist into the rotation, not where that's the way the hand wants to go. Twist it in the direction the hand doesn't want to go. Better. That's close enough for rock and roll. There you go. Shake out your hands. Excellent, ladies. There's all sorts of things. We can focus on the hands, the wrists, the fingers. We can have almost an entire class on that. And by the end, your fingers will feel like you can pick up anything and that they and that they have lots of mobility. All right, shake out your hands, shrug out your shoulders, turn your head side to side a little bit. And go ahead and sit back on your chair. Settle into your sitting bones. Relax your lower back. Breathe nice and slowly and deeply. And let yourself just settle and become calm, peaceful and still. Now let's take a nice deep breath in. And all the way out. Lift the hands from the legs, the feet from the floor, move them, circles, wiggle the toes. Didn't do much with the toes today, wiggle those toes. And the fingers, move the wrists in circles. Stretch your whole body, fingertips to the toes. Walk your knees off to one side, your hands off to the other. Rotate your torso. Oh, that was far enough to go, was it? From the windowsill to the floor. That was too exhausting. And the other side. Back to center, bring palms of the hands, soles of the feet together, rub them briskly. Good. Look at you rubbing your hands together with look, Jean, you overcome so much. Hands together to the heart. Good, sealing the energy, closing the space. Namaste, ladies. I am gonna stop the recording. I think I can do it from here.